We're back on the air. This is Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and we got the whole Radio Entrepreneurs team. On my left is our magic of the keyboard, Chris Gerald. I think he's surfing Facebook right now. To my right is Alex Cooper, our executive producer. This is, I think, the second time behind the mic, correct, Alex?
That's correct.
Right, good. Second, maybe third, who knows? But even better, we have as our reporter today, John Dustin from JED Insurance. Welcome back, John.
Alex and Jeff, glad to be here.
A couple of things, John. I know we're going to talk about perpetualization and disaster recovery, but recently I think all of us were at the JED anniversary party, correct?
Correct, Jeff. We finished our 15th full year, and we just wanted to give back to the advisors, consultants, coaches, people that refer business to us, and I think it was a great event.
I liked it a lot. I liked the hors d'oeuvres. I managed to park myself right beside them for the night.
Well, it's good that somebody was there to rate them. That's excellent.
Yeah, I was having a good time eating. I'm sure it contributed to my waistline. Listen, John, this whole perpetuation concept, you want to explain it to our listeners?
Yeah, you know, it's a funny thing with entrepreneurs and business owners. I think under the real large level, I think there's a need to understand not only risk, but perpetuation of key people go down. If there's a disaster or a catastrophe, how do we recover? Do we have backup systems on clouds? Do we have vendors we can buy from? Do we have bottlenecks in our business that if there was a fire, earthquake, flood, and that were to go down, can we continue our business? So Jeff, as a consultant with Mage, you probably help businesses grow and transition so that they can either perpetuate internally or B, be sold off at some point. Protecting that asset is critical. Unfortunately, unless you're mega huge and have your own risk control department, most businesses probably don't even think about it. The insurance industry, it's a little complex for them because they have some facility to provide that information, but they don't have people outwardly prospecting and delivering the information. So I think it's up to advisors, accountants, lawyers, insurance agents, etc., to kind of become a resource and pull together and provide them with enough information.
So again, I'll speak as a consultant. Tell me why I need to tell this to my clients.
Okay, so if you have a business that's generating significant revenue and there's two key principles and they go down, or one of them goes down, can they replace them? Do they have income in the operating account to go hire someone else to do like-kind things? Can they outsource it? If their building blows up and they lose their key piece of equipment, it takes 24 months to secure a new piece. Where are they getting that from? Can they continue without business income insurance? They're
Right.
all things that I think should be discussed by the team. And one of the things I've always felt, even in my industry, we don't do enough of, is bring the team together. Does the accountant, lawyer, Jeff Davis, all the resources the businesses have ever communicate and talk at once? Probably highly unlikely.
I have one client that does that, or we all get together.
And they probably get pretty good results. It's communication, and hopefully they gain a lot of information from that.
You know, I think in concept it's good. You have to structure it right. You know, if you don't, just bringing them together isn't enough. You have to have an agenda, topic areas, give them the information ahead of time, and really provide a structure for people to be prepared and participate properly.
And with the new, every year, so it's not a one-time, and I've had clients say, well, I went to XYZ insurance company and they gave me, an off-the-shelf catastrophe plan, and if I go down, I'll be all set. Well, that would have been fine 5 years ago. Who knew about cyber liability? Who knew about all the fraud that could occur? And there's vehicles to insure some of that. Not all of it is insurance related, obviously. CPAs have to be involved, banks have to be involved. I think it's impossible to cover every single exposure, but I think a business should at least address it so that if they're trying to grow or sell or transition to the next generation, they're protecting what they have.
Interesting. And Ned, as part of that, looking also at disaster recovery?
Yeah, disaster recovery, again, unless you're a large level business dealing with a very sophisticated insurance broker, it's never even considered. You know, some businesses still have local service, equipment that takes forever to automate and customize for them, and they don't consider the exposure. If I have a building blow up or a fire or a large theft or a water damage claim, what's gonna happen? I'll take it a step further. If somebody had a catastrophe, can they get in touch with all their personnel? Do they have a way to get in touch with everybody?
Right.
Probably not. And I'm guilty of it, you're guilty of it. These things, you don't spend a lot of time on it because people look for what? They look for how much am I gonna make doing this? Well, the other side of the coin, what insurance brings and risk management.
Even some of my food clients, I think, don't have it. Some of them do, but I know food companies that don't, and you gotta be prepared for disaster in the food business, or the pharmaceutical business.
And when I meet with clients, I often talk to them about if you were to get shut down, what's your exposure? And they say, well, I don't know, I don't think, I don't think long-term about it, we'll just set up. And I say, well, if you're supplying Whole Foods with a contract and you're shut down in the food industry, do you think Whole Foods is gonna wait 6 months to get their next shipment?
No, I know for a fact they won't.
And I'm just using a name, I don't
They
mean
switch
to-
suppliers right
Right.
away.
And so that's what ultimately you want to try to have a vision to protect, is that future asset. And I just think it's a challenge, and I think small businesses, it's just not that readily available. We do try to address some of this with our clients, because we do everything from the ground up, and this isn't an infomercial. But even at that, are they addressing if the major partner gets disabled or gets killed, how are we going to fund his replacement? Do we have overhead expense to cover what's going on? And I think it's important issues in front of us. And the world is far more complicated today than it was 5 years ago even.